all things Randi at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, The Randi Rhodes Show.
What a contrast in people we had yesterday. I mean, it was really pretty special. It really was. You saw the best of us in Jose Andres and the World Central Kitchen aid workers who died in Gaza. And he wrote the most amazing op-ed today in the New York Times. Jose Andres did. I'll just read you a little bit of what he wrote, because I think that this is one of the angels that walks among us. Let's just put it that way. Okay, you have certain people that walk among us that do so much for so many and make it seem so effortless and so natural that I can only conclude that they are the angels that walk among us. I say this about very few people, but mostly I say it about women or families who have either adopted or given birth to very disabled children. And they just don't shirk their duty. They love those kids. It's like, I always say that they're the angels that walk among us, right? Well, Jose Andres seems to fall into this category of being somebody that just naturally shows up in conflict zones and natural disaster areas like Haiti after earthquakes, or after hurricane devastation, or after tsunamis, or in like in the Bahamas, or in Mexico, or in Turkey and Morocco, with earthquakes and hundreds of thousands of people dead, and they find a way to bring portable kitchens, like tens of them, hundreds of them, and they cook millions of meals and distribute them to people, something governments don't seem to be able to figure out. And yet he's figured it out, and his aid workers don't even question like what they do it because it seems normal and natural to them to feed people when there's some issue or natural disaster or war zone, like in Ukraine or Poland. Remember when Ukraine was first invaded, he went to Poland and he started feeding people that were coming in from Ukraine and being welcomed. Oh, imagine that, over a border, welcomed into Poland. And so he's doing this both in Israel. He did it, which I don't think a lot of people, realize. But after the worst terrorist attack that Israel has ever had on its soil, Jose Andres set up kitchens there and fed people who were very busy, counting and burying their dead. Sign after sign after sign after sign memorializing another dead person, right? And then and this was before, there was any retaliation over the terrorist attack. And then when the retaliation began in Gaza, he went there because he doesn't question who you are or what religion you are or which side are you on, or is your side the right side, is your side the wrong side. No, it's not like that. It's just the natural impulse to show up and feed people when food is a scarce thing, no matter what the reason is. Now, you know what happened. It was a horror show what happened there. And now we're getting more details about the drone attack that killed these 7 aid workers. They were young, they were vibrant, they were from multiple countries. They were Australian, they were British, one American, one Palestinian. Just showing up. He set up 68 portable kitchens, and he had fed or created 48 million meals. 48 million meals. And the workers were going from the north to the south on what was a deconflicted road. Now, you know what a deconfliction is. It's when, in this case, aid workers call a government and say, we know that you're in the midst of hostilities. We don't choose sides. We don't care, about your beef. We don't care, about any political or emotional response that you're having. We just care that we want to go and take care of the civilian population that, is either going to be without food or is going to be experiencing a hard time getting food or scarcity of food. Okay. Can you give us a route that you approve of where we can travel to get where civilians are located? So, you deconflict the area, and then you give them a green light and you say, okay, deconflicted, go. And that's what happened with the Central Food Kitchen workers, the World Central Kitchen workers. And so he wrote this after everything was, made clear to him that people had died, that it was a deconflicted road, that it was a drone attack, and that it was 3 separate attacks, that it happened over a course of almost 2 miles, over and over and over again. And that all he's trying to do is let people eat. That's all he's interested in. That's all they're about. And that his family, his aid worker family, has been decimated. And he needs to take a pause and leave to regroup and to make sure that governments can assure their safety yet again, so they can go back in. That is the best of us. He wrote, in the worst conditions you can imagine, after hurricanes, earthquakes, bombs, gunfire, the best of humanity shows up. Not once or twice, but always. That's breathtaking, man. I mean, just think about what they're doing, okay? And how often they do it, and that they do it no matter what the crisis is, no matter what the catastrophe is, no matter what's going on, whether it's bullets and man-made or it's hurricanes and earthquakes. They don't care. He said the 7 people killed on a World Central Kitchen mission in Gaza on Monday were the best of humanity. They are not faceless or nameless. They are not generic aid workers or collateral damage in a war. Safedin Issam Ayed Abuta, John Chapman, Jacob Flicklinger, Zomi Frankum, James Henderson, James Kermey, Damian Sobel risked everything for the most fundamental human activity, to share food with others. You think about that. That's pretty biblical when you think about that. I mean, what are the miracles? Turning water into what? Well, if I could do that, I would not work. But bread, right? Fishes. Yeah, who likes a fish? Loaves. Loaves are good. Anyway, he said, there are people I served alongside of in Ukraine, Turkey, Morocco, the Bahamas, Indonesia, Mexico, Gaza, Israel. It's quite a curriculum vitae, I must say. He said their work was based on the simple belief that food is a universal human right. It is not conditional on being good or bad, rich or poor, left or right. We do not ask what religion you belong to. We just ask, how many meals do you need? So I posted his op-ed. You can read it to replenish your soul and the goodness that you need, poured in there regularly, sometimes from outside, goodness, to replenish your inside goodness, because you are good. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. And then the worst. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.